record, not making that mistake again. We'll wait another 3 minutes. Like I said, I don't know how many attendees we are going to have because we only just went out with it today, but this will be recorded and will go out via email and social media and all of that good stuff. So let's just wait 2 minutes, and I'm just going to grab a glass of water.
Sounds good. I'm going to do the same.
Please, I would love it. Why don't we have dinner down there? I gotta get going, but I love you. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we have, I don't think.
I'm going to stop recording again. Okay, everyone. My name is Jennifer Maher. I'm the chairwoman of the Putnam County Business Council, and I have with me today Putnam County Business Council member Jonathan Schneider, who's the president of Schneider Financial, who is in the thick of it on behalf of his clients, trying to navigate the PPA, SBA disaster loans, as well as the EIDLs. And he is going to be speaking with us today on a couple of different topics. The 941s, for the 1120S or the 1065. It's all Chinese to me. Yeah, so I'm just gonna let you do that part. I tried. When it comes to finances, you already know.
No, not a problem at all. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be able to try to get some resources out for everybody there that is in a state of confusion, which isn't only the small business owners, but unfortunately it's from the Federal Reserve Board to the Treasury Department to the SBA to the lenders. Everybody is in a massive state of confusion right now. Yeah. So I think the best thing right now to do is what we're doing. We changed our role last night when we saw a few banks close their windows for applications, and they decided recently a few more have closed. A couple have opened back up. Some have opened up and have closed down again. Third parties have withdrawn their applications as lenders. So right now, what we did after yesterday was we basically said that we were going to start looking at compiling our clients' packages together and getting them ready for their submissions. We reached out to banks again. My team's been making sure that all of our business clients have been contacted in regards to what they need to do, how they need to do it. We've provided all the backup documentation. And Jen, that's what you were referring to. That list that I gave you was what we're requiring for, or we're recommending for our clients, and what I'd recommend for any small business owner to have readily available for when their bank window does open up. And really the biggest thing is just to be prepared, have your stuff together, and talk to your loan officer at your bank. They're the ones who are going to be able to let you know when the windows are open. Stay online, be vigilant. Again, they're opening, they're closing, websites are crashing. Yeah. Yesterday afternoon, the Federal Reserve Board had said that they were going to be coming out with a new facility for getting these loans, I guess, underwritten and sent out and approved and funded. But when I reached out to their public relations board, they had no specifics whatsoever. There's been the mention of backstop financing, which means that lenders, again, are going to have that guaranteed protection, just as the banks have now with the SBA. It's just a matter of, I think, again, being vigilant, staying online, talking to your bank loan officer, having your stuff ready, and just try to be patient. Unfortunately, it's not the banks, it's not the SBA, it's not the feds. everybody's just, I don't think anybody expected the overwhelming amount of information that was going to be required to get this set up appropriately. I don't think anybody imagined that they had the manpower needs that they're really having right now for getting these loans processed. From speaking to some of the loan officers, it's been crazy trying to accommodate their clients. And then unfortunately there's times where they have to stop taking applications, close windows. So best thing right now to do is just be steadfast, stay online, stay vigilant with your loan officer, and have your stuff ready. So Jen, you've done a great job. You guys have put everything that you needed up on your website from the guidance.
We've been really diligent. A couple of things, let me interrupt real quick. Number one, participants, use the Q&A box, please, instead of raising your hand. And we will get whatever questions answered that we possibly can. And if we can't get it answered, then we will make it our mission to try to find an answer for you and get back to you. The main thing, John, about what you're just saying is I've heard from a lot of businesses today whose bank hit their limit already. What is the suggestion to do in that circumstance? Because if your bank hit a limit and other banks are not taking people who aren't clients, what's a business owner supposed to do?
So one of the things that we've recommended is just going online. We know that Cabbage Search had changed over the weekend what their business model was. They closed off lines of credits, and they said that their game now is PPP loans.
Right.
So yeah, if you go and you Google top 5 third parties for PPP loans, what you want to do is make sure that they're SBA approved 7A lenders, and you want to make sure that they are at least credentialed with FDIC, so that you're knowing that you're not going to have any issues. But if you go through Cabbage, we have clients who have been using that.
Okay.
There's a few different third parties that are out there now that are offering it, but that doesn't mean that they haven't possibly reached their limit in the past hour either. And I think that's why the Fed realized yesterday, the Federal Reserve Board realized what the overwhelming amount of applicants were putting in, and it was just a difficult rollout of a game plan. You have all the right players, but I think that they didn't understand exactly what they were going to be coming up against. So it's only day 3. And I talked to one of the bank loan officers today, and they told me that their window closed out and that they weren't able to even take any new applicants from their own business clientele.
Yeah,
and,
that's what I'm saying. What's happening?
Yeah, it's definitely happening. So I think the Fed is going to be doing a good deal of public relations over the next 2 to 3 days.
Okay.
They did say that they're going to have more guidance by the end of the week. So what we're doing is, again, we're just getting all of our clients to get their information together. Your payroll returns, your corporate returns, or your partnership returns with your K-1s. Get your last 12 months of payroll reports. Now, you also should talk to your accountants, because a lot of clients benefit better by utilizing the seasonal payroll instead of using the full 12 months. So it really depends on what your individual situation is. Some new businesses are eligible as well. So it's really imperative right now to have the information that's going to best benefit you, have it all together, ready to go, have your application approved. Jen has a link on the website with the Putnam County Business Council.
PutnamCountyBusinessCouncil.com. We just rebranded, and so if you don't type it into URL, our old website is still coming up. It's the bane of my existence this week. So www.PutnamCountyBusinessCouncil.com. We'll have that fixed shortly. Question, John, can you apply for payroll assistance through the PPP loan program and also for an EIDL loan for paying bills and not payroll? So what's your advice for someone who really has more expenses than payroll issues?
So we have a lot of clients who are doing both applications, and the EIDL is more about the recovery period for all overhead. The PPP loan is more about keeping people on payroll. So a lot of the PPP loan has to do with how much you've paid out, and they're looking for criteria on the 75% of whatever they loan out to be put into payroll or benefits in order to have forgiveness for the additional 25%, which could be made up of utilities, or it could be made up of mortgage interest. It could be made up of rent. So we're also recommending that EIDL loan for clients who need more funding to keep things going. The EIDL loan, it offers an advance now, and I'm not even sure if the advance is still available, but the only criteria in regards to this. They offered up to $10,000 for an advance, and the only time that it would conflict, they said that that up to $10,000 advance would have loan forgiveness built in as well, unless you applied for the PPP, and then that $10,000 or up to would just be reduced from the amount that could be forgiven on the PPP. So you're allowed to make applications to both. We're recommending it to a lot of clients based on what their individual situation is. So it's definitely something to look into, to reach out to who works with you and works with your business and knows the ins and outs, and just to make the informed and intelligent decision on what's best for your situation. But absolutely, a lot of our clients are applying for both of those. The EIDL loans, we've already got a couple of clients who have been contacted by the SBA. One's gotten the approval through their multiple chains, including supervision and legal, and they're just waiting on the final paperwork to come through. They were told that this wouldn't have any personal guarantee that needed to be attached to it. And they were told that even though there was going to be a UCC filing, that it wasn't going to have a lien attached. But I just said that once we do get that paperwork, we're going to review it. We're going to have their attorneys look at it as well. And we're going to have a discussion in regards to what the full picture is for that loan. That EIDL loan has a cap rate of 4%. I think right now we're looking at 3.75%, and some of them are going out to 30-year financing. So to not have a personal guarantee on basically a mortgage is going to be an incredible thing. Those are already starting to go through. We haven't seen any advances go through yet. The ones that did go through on the EIDL were the ones that were put in 3 weeks ago on the original application, which was much more complicated than the EIDL is now.
Well, I'm not sure when I put mine in. It was a while ago and I haven't heard anything, but we'll see. So other than PPP loans, you have information on the rapid export loans.
The rapid export, I do not have any information on the rapid export loans.
Okay, so maybe that's something we can look into, and if it's pertinent, I'm not even sure what it is, but I guess we'll try to look into that. Again, someone was just saying, we did cover this earlier about the hitting the ceiling, and John had, let's just reiterate, what'd you say, John? There's some third-party lenders, there's Cabbage. Who else? What other third-party lenders?
There was a couple other.
Are they on that link that I sent to Ed Gallagher this morning? That's that link that shows the lenders, that the third-party lenders are on that link.
I'd have to take a look at the link. I'm not sure exactly what was on there. I'm sorry. We've been inundated with the amount of emails that we've been phone calls.
So to everyone that's listening, and when we get this, there's not a lot of people on because we just kind of put it out there very recently, but to everybody that's listening to this afterwards, we'll look into third-party information and try to get that out to you. I have a feeling by the time we do all that work and get it to you, an hour later, the feds will come out with a different answer. Right, John?
Well, that's kind of why I've been sitting back a little bit and just enjoying beautiful weather that we're having, because we saw yesterday that we were going to be hitting a spot of almost panic across lending institutions. When we started to see banks closing out, banks pulling out, banks closing their windows, we decided it was really best just to get your stuff together. Be vigilant again. I think it's really just a matter of staying online, staying in contact with your loan officers, and looking for what you can on the third-party sources. But I think there's also going to be a lot more guidance and a lot more funding that's coming down the road. So if you miss the opportunity for what we have right now, I wouldn't feel like it's completely gone, because the amount of feedback that's been given and the amount of changes that have been brought about on an almost hourly basis from all layers, from the federal government to our state government to what our lending institutions are looking at. It's constantly changing. So I think the best thing to do is really just have good open lines of communication with your bank and make sure that you're ready to go, and really be diligent. So yeah, we've researched a few different places online that are third-party lenders, and we've just taken a look, and a lot of them are open, a lot of them are closed, and they have the same issues that banks are having, where their sites are going up, their sites are going down. Yep. It's just a matter of what their technology is able to handle and how much information they're able to process in a short amount of time.
Yep. And someone just asked, they applied for EIDL loans, and they were asking if these loans are also hitting the ceiling for the banks, but those aren't connected to a bank, the EIDL loans, right? Correct?
The EIDL loan is going directly through the SBA.
Right.
The SBA is reaching out and they are completing the loan applications and making sure that everything is gathered together for underwriting requirements. And they're the ones who are doing the final approvals. Again, we haven't gotten any funding from them yet for any of our clients,
That's
but
another
we've gotten an approval and we've gotten communication on a few.
Okay, so if you've submitted and you're not sure if you submitted the old way, the new way, blah, blah, do you resubmit?
No, don't resubmit. So what it is it basically they had criteria of expecting a 2 to 4 week turnaround.
Okay.
So the first applications went in approximately 3 to 3.5 weeks ago. So they're close to the end of that period, but people are starting to get contacted. I don't know with the amount of volume that they've gotten from that time till now, if they're going to still be looking at that 2 to 4 week turnaround, or if that's why the Fed now is going to be getting involved later in the week. And basically what it looked like is they're going to be looking for so many different lenders to come in and they're going to be guaranteeing all of these loans. So I'm standing by. I'm just waiting to hear what they're going to say. Right now, the best thing that we could do is just make sure that we're prepared and we're ready to make just informed decisions in regards to what we're doing for our business clients.
Okay, so basically everybody, you definitely need to be in contact, number one, with your accountant, number two, with your bank, your accountant, because you need to figure out what is best for you. I did my own analogy on Friday and I figured out PPP is really not the way for me to go. So I'm glad because I'm not sitting around stressed out like all the other business owners today. I haven't heard back on the EIDL, so I understand that stress. We're all in the same boat. The money's there. And hopefully it's just going to start to get smoother and smoother. I mean, we did see that happen with the unemployment. I haven't heard in the last couple of days all of that griping about what's going on with the site crashing. So I believe they've gotten the kinks out there and hopefully this will follow, right?
Well, unfortunately, no, they haven't. I have a few clients who started their applications yesterday with unemployment. Now unemployment is being done Monday through Wednesday. It's based on your last name, Thursday and Friday, open enrollment basically. But even clients who are in that first one that started applying yesterday, they had the same issues. Well, it's a matter of going through the full process of getting it done. So I've said, you know, if you can't get it done today, again, you could call on Thursday or Friday, but it's all going to be backdated to the date that you have. There's no elimination period. So if you're able to continue to stay on top of that as well, it's definitely well worth it. But I think, again, it's just a matter of the volume. Nobody saw this coming, even though they've probably spent hundreds of millions of dollars in research at the federal and state levels. And it's just unfortunate that now that we're going through a real life scenario, our training protocols just weren't in place the right way. Luckily, I think that we're moving quickly. When I think about it, really, I talked to a loan officer at a bank today and they told me that they closed their window. I said, well, congratulations. You made it a lot longer than most did. You know, you're at day 3 of this program. So if we think about how long it takes for our roads to get paved, and our town of Carmel does an amazing job on a circular schedule, it's not like it's going to be done in a week. So for us to be able to get $2 trillion pumped out into the economy, to get, you know, federal unemployment assistance added on to what the states are offering, and then to get this money through the banks, for day 3, yeah, we've had our I wouldn't even say speed bumps. Like we've had brick walls. You got to circumvent. You've got to navigate. You've got to change direction. But in the end, I think it's just a matter of staying on top of what you're doing, have your stuff together. And if you're fortunate enough to have a great team at your business like I am, then you're able to really concentrate more on what you need to do for direction, while your team is able to continue to develop what your business is there for. So hopefully we're able to continue to operate in an environment like this, and we're able to start changing what our business models are. I think a lot of it is going to, you know, involve, we've had a lot of our personal care products and clients move over to at least trying to sell product online. Right now, if you take a look, like Paul Mitchell's numbers are through the roof, and we're just trying to recommend that our clients are doing the same thing, trying to stay as relevant as they can through these times, because right now it's going out till the end of the month, and who knows how it's going to go after that. It's just a matter of going one day at a time. You know, appreciate what we do have. We have beautiful weather right now. We have more time to spend at home. We have more time to spend just being outside. It's worthwhile just to, you know, refocus priorities, but still stay on top, because our business has to be our priority. That's every small business owner in America. It's what makes us great.
Absolutely. I agree. Be relevant is really the most important thing outside of the financial work that needs to be done to secure your businesses, but being relevant is extremely important. This was really difficult in my industry, real estate industry, because the more you were, they were clamoring to be deemed essential, the more you're turning off the public, and it was just chaos. So, shifting into how can we provide services and be relevant, not be seen as if we're trying to get people to go out and spread the coronavirus, but to be helping whatever housing needs there might possibly be, or real estate needs, and sending the right messages. So, your business base and your client base is obviously different from mine, but that's one of the most important things you can do right now is sit back and what do my clients really need? You know what most of them really need? They need for you to just check in on them, and that's probably the best business activity that one can be doing.
Absolutely. I think letting people know that you're still there. We all care about each other. We're a community here, and even if it's larger than just the town of Carmel, county of Putnam, Hudson Valley region, New York State, we're really all in this together across the board right now. I will say I think that the state has been doing a really good job as well. They're trying to get a lot more information out too. They're still doing what they need to do with budgets. They're still going through with that. And from my understanding, they're going to hopefully be passing some loans that'll be out there utilizing some of the funds coming from the federal government. Right now, it's a lot. The state helped out with our realtors as well. I know that they approved virtual signatures, docu-signing, and meetings just like this. So we're just even recommending, to stay relevant, you get in, and if you could just say, hey, you guys just get out for a while, and we have real estate agents who are going in and they're doing the 3D virtual tours, and it's becoming a new thing. So it's going to really accelerate the way that we're utilizing technology for our business model. And I think that in the end, it's again going to help us focus more on what is our main goal and how do we service our clients the best. No matter what your industry is, that's what it's really all coming down to. It's the only thing that separates us from the other people. Absolutely.
And one of the things I did go on, 18 months ago, I started basically, and I took some slack of saying, look, if you don't have a portion of your business available via the internet or remotely, you're in trouble. And that was about 18 months ago when I started saying that. With my lifestyle, as much as I want to shop local and support local, at this point, if I can't access it through the internet, or just at this point, I'm talking 18 months ago, I started saying this, then you have a flaw in your business model. The world has shifted, and unfortunately, this pandemic is fast forwarding that shift for anybody that perhaps did not start to shift prior. So now you got to shift quickly to whatever it is that you are going to be able to do to function in the future and to serve people better and to understand how your business is going to look like, your industry is going to look like at the end of this pandemic, and how do I get there? And spend your time right now working towards that, whatever it is. So John, what tree is that behind you? That's what I really want to know. Is it flowering?
It is 100% flowering. That is our magnolia tree. It is spectacular. I will tell you, just to be able to go out and appreciate it and just smell the magnolias, not the roses, it makes my day. Anyone who has stopped by, whether it be for delivering any of our utilities, propane or heating oil, or coming by, anybody who's stopped by who's just smelt it has made comment to it. So it's nice. We're all being very conscious about our social distancing, and now we have new CDC guidelines with recommendations in regards to being covered in public. So we all just got to do our part, and hopefully we will slow this spread down sooner rather than later, and we'll be able to get back to life as we would consider normal. But for now, I think no matter what, after we're done with this, even the way that it looks with China and their recovery, they said that the way that people are spending their money and the way that they're spending their time have already changed drastically from what it was pre-pandemic. And I'm sure the same will happen here. So I think it'll be interesting just to see what tomorrow holds, because every day is something new here. And I think while sometimes it feels very difficult and heavy and burdensome for a lot of business owners, I think it's just a matter of weathering the storm, improvising. One of the things I always love to quote is Clint Eastwood from heartbreak ridge, improvise, adapt, overcome. That's what Marines do. And that's really the best advice I think that we could have just on the day-to-day. And everybody's doing it, from the federal government to the SBA, to the state government, to lenders, to businesses. We're just, we're playing it, on the fly. And just keep a positive attitude, be good to others, and good things are going to come out of this.
Okay, a couple of questions, and then we're going to wrap up. Do you know how third-party lenders are charging fees? How that's being paid? Is it a service?
So through the Treasury Department's directories, and they were just revised as of Thursday night, right before the program went live. Anyone who's a lender is not supposed to be having any fees that are going to have to be paid directly from the borrower. There's supposed to be a commission breakdown based on the amount of the PPP loan, and it ranges anywhere from 5% down to, I think it was 0.5%, but don't quote me on that last part. It was amazing for me to see, and I don't know at that high level of banking how it works, but I know it went from originally a 0.5% loan, and the banking industry had negotiated up to a 1% loan on anything that wasn't forgiven. And I don't understand, if you're getting 5% possibly off the bat, or I guess at the 0.5% level, you would need it to make the margins, but manpower just isn't there. So right now, any third-party lender is actually getting it directly from the source and not from the borrower. There shouldn't be any fees that are charged. I know that the Treasury Department has authorized agents as well to act on behalf of applicants, which has been a very difficult thing for anybody to do. But that they're not supposed to charge anyone out for that either. So if you are being told that you're getting charged, do me a favor, reach out to Jen, reach out to me, because that's something that I definitely would like to follow up on, because from what I read, you aren't supposed to have any additional fees for these applications.
Okay. One other question, which I think I'm going to try to answer, and I'm going to probably be wrong. The EIDL, the $10,000 grant, or however we want to word it, is it independent of the EIDL loan, and can you just apply for the grant? The way I understand it is that up to 10,000 is in advance. If you don't need any more than that, then yes, you're just applying for that portion. If you need more than that, then you have to go through the rest of the process for the EIDL application. Is that correct?
That's the way that I understand it as well. And the advanced portion is supposed to have forgiveness built into it as well. So as far as the acceptance of the EIDL, you have a window of period to actually accept that loan offer. But the EIDL is supposed to have the advanced portion forgiven, from what I read. But again, that may have been updated over the past few days too.
Right. And I will tell you that it's pretty flexible on the forgiven part, because that you can, if you don't take a salary, you can still consider some of business owner payroll, what to support your lifestyle. Money that you're usually taking from the company can be considered towards payroll. There's a lot of not wiggle room. It's just that 10K, if that's what you get and that's all you need, I think they're really going out of their way to make things forgivable. Is that the right way to put it? I think so. John?
I've never seen the government try so hard to give people money across the board, whether it be for unemployment, for stimulus checks, or for free loans for payroll, or advances on other loans. I've never witnessed money not be able to be printed quick enough to be given out. It is unprecedented, the times that we're going through. And how's it all going to work out in the end? I'm not sure. I think that right now there's really good initiative that's coming through. I know from what I've at least read, both sides at the federal level are in discussions about what phase 4 is going to be. So there's more money that's coming down the pipe too. It's just a matter of staying on top, being informed of real information, and just being ready when the window of opportunity opens to be ready to go and get what you need to get for your business.
Exactly. And just to answer again, the EIDL, when it would be available, is roughly supposedly 2 to 4 weeks after your application, or is it after your acceptance?
So it's 2 to 4 weeks from application is what they're saying for the time frame on processing. That's first contact from that. If you're just applying now, you're typically getting a confirmation number that is pulled up on the screen, and that's it. You don't get an email after that or anything. And then we were looking at a window at 2 to 4 weeks. We were at about 3 weeks when our first client was contacted, and we're hoping that that window stays accurate. but it seems that they're at least looking at going through the process quickly. The approvals are coming, and we haven't seen funding yet, but the approvals are there, and I think it's only a matter of time before this is just going to be like the floodgates open and the levee breaking, and the money is going to be flowing. But it's, again, you have to be on top of it, be prepared for when your window does come, and just have your stuff together. So look at the website for Putnam County Business Council. They're going to have a list of what's recommended to have together for applications when that time does come.
Yep, we have been staying live and up to date. We're in constant communication with the Business Council of New York, the SBA, federal, state, local representatives. Remember, every Friday, 4 p.m., we have a webinar to give you the latest, greatest update in real time, so you don't have to be searching everywhere because it's just so noisy out there. So John, I want to thank you for hopping on. I see one last question. Let me just make sure we got our number, but no contacts. Okay, so hang in there. We believe that you will be getting your contacts soon. We will also look into third-party lenders to see if we can provide any of that information. So you need to be checking our Facebook page at Putnam Biz or our website. Remember, please type it up into the URL space, www.putnamcountybusinesscouncil.com. And John will be back on with us on Friday. And then we also have, I'm sorry, I'm looking at questions and doing this at the same time, but we will also have Mike Oates from Hudson Valley Economic Development Corporation, just to kind of get a gist of what's happening on a regional level. And hopefully John, again, will be joining us, and we will be here to try to answer and help you through this difficult time as much as we can. So everybody, please get out and enjoy this fantastic weather and stay tuned. Thank you, John.
Great day, everybody. My pleasure. Thank you, Jen. I'm glad that we're able to get all these resources out for our business community, and hopefully everyone's going to take advantage of what's being made available. And just be patient, be vigilant, and enjoy the day. It's beautiful outside.
Yeah, absolutely. We spent the day working from the deck, and I'm going to go stalk my granddaughter through the window and take a hike with my mother. Social distance, of course. Everybody, stay safe, stay tuned. We'll be back.
Stay healthy.
Yep.
Stay healthy. Bye-bye.